So this year at Walt Disney World, Disney's Hollywood Studios is undoubtedly going to be receiving an awful lot of attention. But beginning next year, in 2020, Epcot's going to be stepping back into the spotlight once again with their own brand new attraction. So let's dive into all of that up next. Hi there Waltoneers, I'm Jack and this is of course DSNY Newscast, and you know what, let's get straight into the news. As with all of the talk focused on Star Wars Galaxy's Edge recently, which by the way rightfully so, as this land is really shaping up to be one of the most immersive Disney park experiences that they've ever created, the other main focus of Walt Disney Company at Walt Disney World has been on Epcot, as we've seen plenty of official announcements and rumoured changes revealed for the new direction of that park. But arguably the first of all of these new additions that will make a big splash at Epcot will happen in just over a year, when this new e-ticket trackless 3D dark ride opens at the back of the France Pavilion. As the last time that we covered this was back in November of 2018, when we finally learnt the official name of this attraction would be Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, which in my opinion works quite well, as it promotes the main character of Remy, who is currently being featured more and more as the mascot of the Food and Wine Festival, and it also has the movie's title, which guests will probably just shorten the name to the Ratatouille ride anyway. But now let's get into some construction updates, as with this attraction rumoured to open in late spring of 2020, much of what we'll be experiencing is currently being installed inside this already enclosed show building that we can see here in this aerial image. But when looking at the previous permit filings and then layering the layout of the Ratatouille attraction from Walt Disney Studios in Disneyland Paris on top of the permit filings, you can see that the building and also ride system's layout will be nearly identical, meaning that more than likely we won't be seeing much of a difference in terms of the attraction's narrative of Remy escaping through the kitchen. But Walt Disney Imagineering will more than likely make a few tweaks for this version, as over in the Disneyland Paris attraction it has to accommodate both English and French dialogue tracks, whereas in this new Epcot version the dialogue tracks will all be in English. So there'll be an opportunity for even more animation and also storyline in each one of the show scenes. But all of that is only relating to the interior, as the exterior of this attraction is where we'll see the greatest difference between Epcot and Paris, as this attraction is requiring Disney to build out an entirely new courtyard area, themed to a Parisian cul-de-sac. As we can see here in this footage taken around a week or so ago, that work has already begun on the reinforced embankments right next to the Friendship Lagoon waterway, as to enter this new courtyard in 2020, you will have to do so via this one walkway here, which will act as both the entrance and the exit for this entire area as far as we can tell from the permit filings. But don't worry, the entire exteriors of the existing buildings will be beautifully themed to make it feel as if you are really walking into a small section of Paris. And to be honest, where I feel that this new Ratatouille cul-de-sac will really shine is most likely at night time, as when entering Epcot from the boardwalk and the International Gateway, you will see the beautifully illuminated streets of Paris off in the distance, just like right out of the movie Ratatouille. With this incredible theming being just as important for the unique perspective that the Disney Skyliner will have, as we can see here that the Skyliner will connect directly over the far edge of the new courtyard. But that's not all, as we can see that the work has already begun on building out the exterior framework for the facades of the main show building that will continue the elaborate forced perspective theming of the Parisian-style Haussmann apartment buildings overlooking the cul-de-sac. And if we zoom in at the very top of this section here, you can see that the rooftops are beginning to be formed. And though it may not look that pleasing at the moment, this built out section here is where the queue for the new attraction is going to be. And this is going to differ quite a bit from that of the Disneyland Paris version, as we know that part of this queue will be within this semi-outdoor canopy section here that can be seen within the concept art, giving this a completely different feel to that of the Disneyland Paris counterpart. But as you can see from this aerial image from BioReconstruct on Twitter, that a lot of work is still required on this new Parisian area outside of the attraction. However, it doesn't seem as if this attraction is going to be pushed back beyond that late spring 2020 estimated opening date, so I'm sure we'll be getting plenty of construction updates along the way as this new courtyard area begins to come together and adds a whole new section to the World Showcase. Whereas over at Disney's Hollywood Studios, Pixar's Cars is about to get its own attraction at the end of this month, as on March 31st, Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy will open to guests. And as we can see seeing this new pre-visualization footage of the new show, it will only be featuring Lightning McQueen in audio animatronic form on a turntable, where he'll be able to interact with the guests. Whereas the other characters, such as Tomater and Cruz Ramirez, will be included as part of the animation on the 200-foot wide wraparound screen instead. But there will be photo opportunities and meet and greets with Cruz Ramirez and most likely Tomater outside in the courtyard. And lastly for today, we've received our first full trailer for Disney's live-action retelling and reimagining of Aladdin. And to be honest, at first, when I saw the teaser trailer for this Guy Ritchie directed version of the animated classic, I was dubious just like many of you were, as yes, it had some stunning visuals, but I was left with a feeling of whether we really needed another live-action retelling of this classic story. But now after seeing this new trailer, I've got to say I've changed my mind. And it just goes to show just how much of a difference a trailer and good marketing can be for making or breaking a movie's appeal. And it's more than just the 1990s nostalgia that has pulled me into this movie, but it's also the grittier vibe and the new layer of realism that Disney are adding for a new generation to enjoy. And if Disney have decided to expand the original story just like they've supposedly done with Tim Burton's version of Dumbo, then I feel that this will be a great new addition to the Disney live-action canon. But speaking of Dumbo, we have some new footage of this movie that soars into theatres on March 29th, as the animated classic is just over 1 hour long, whereas apparently the beginning of this new live-action version tells the original story within the first half of the movie, and then spends another hour expanding this beloved story. And if I were to guess, I feel that Dumbo probably has a much better chance of becoming a surprise box office hit for Disney yet again, as it's positioned perfectly within the box office calendar, whereas Disney's Aladdin will have some stiff competition toward the end of May. But now it's over to you, Walt, and as I would like to know if you could expand any existing World Showcase pavilion, whether it's realistic or not, and add a new attraction to that pavilion tied to an IP which is set within that basic region, which World Showcase pavilion would it be, and also what would you add to that pavilion? And of course, don't forget to put the timestamp for where the hidden Mickey appeared somewhere within this video, along with your suggestion or your comment, to be in with a chance to win one of these official DSNY Newscast enamel pins. And congratulations to this Walt here for winning this suggestion from a previous video where we were talking all about the opening dates that have finally been revealed for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland and Walt Disney World. And so that's it for today, so go ahead and subscribe down below if you're new to this channel, hit that notification icon so that you always receive an update on a Tuesday and a Thursday when these videos come out, and if you've enjoyed today's video, give this video a massive thumbs up as it really does help this channel out. And I've been Jack, you've been you, and I'll see you real soon.